Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.
Fox 17 Rock and Review, our very special guest today, and I do mean special, got into the Country Music Hall of Fame last year, and you have so many awards between Grammys and American Country Music Awards and everything else. Charlie Daniels, and you are a national treasure, Charlie. I mean, and not only for the great music you do, but also, your veterans work. And you and I were talking even about your volunteer jams. You really brought attention to a lot of bands that people may not have known about.
We were talking off camera. 1 year at the Municipal Auditorium, we ran 25 acts by in 8 hours' time.
My goodness.
25. It seems impossible looking back on it. And it's a testament to the road crews and the stagehands of Nashville.
Well, and you guys are a well-oiled machine. And you've had everybody like Link Ray,
we had Link Ray,
Willie, the band LaRue.
Billy Joel stopped by 1 year. 1 year, Roy Acuff came by. I was so honored because it was a Saturday night.
Right.
And it was between shows at the Opry.
Yeah.
And he came out for no other reason than he knew it would just tickle me to death. Because I loved that man. I remember listening to him when I was a kid, and I spent so many hours just sitting and talking to him. And I was on stage, and I turned around and looked, and there was Roy Acuff standing around. Of course, we brought him out on stage. People loved him.
How amazing.
It was amazing.
Well, and your career in music and bringing up, the Grand Ole Opry and WSM Radio, it's in your book, your brand new book that's coming out on October 24th, Never Look at the Empty Seats. And you talk about listening to the Opry, as a youngster.
Yeah. Well, 650 Clear Channel, I was born in 1936.
Right.
So my earliest remembrances would be whenever you start remembering from then. And the first show I remember listening to was the Grand Ole Opry. But everybody in our neighborhood listened to it because the station came in at night after the daytimers.
Yeah.
People don't know what daytimers are anymore. It used to be radio stations that came on in the morning and went off in the afternoon.
Totally.
After the daytimers went off and kind of uncluttered their airwaves, it came in like a local station. And everybody listened to it. They could tell you the joke Minnie Pearl told, the song that Ernest Tubb sang, about the whole show because my whole neighborhood listened to it. And it was such a, Roy Acuff personified the Grand Ole Opry.
I agree.
And the longer it went on and the longer he lived, the more he personified it.
Well, it was so amazing. I read your book early because I wanted to be prepared and everything. And it's such an incredible book. And it was so neat seeing you on stage at the Opry then, too, after reading the book. And you've made that full circle, from being a youngster listening to it. And now you're a part of it.
Well, I didn't think I was ever going to. I was in my 70s before they asked me to join. Again, is this ever going to happen? But you know what? I'm glad it came at that time in my life because I think I enjoy it more. I appreciate it more now than I would have had it happen to me, say in my 30s or something. And just to be able to know that I was a member of the Grand Ole Opry after it being a part of its life, after it being a part of my life, for all of my life, I can't even articulate it, to be honest with you.
Well, it's just amazing, and the amount of awards and everything. But like we were talking to Charlie, just your great music, and also the work you do for veterans. You had your big bash this last September. That you do.
You're talking about Journey Home?
Yeah, Journey Home project that you do every year in September.
That's a labor of love, and we started this whole thing to help our veterans who are coming back from service, many of them from war zones, from combat service, to transition back into civilian life. Now, to us uninitiated, it would not seem like much of a change. It would seem like you were changing jobs or moving from one town to the other. There is a lot more to it for a lot of people than we realize it is. And we've done things as mundane as bought furniture, help people get cars, try to help people get jobs, educations, medical help, whatever it takes to help them get comfortable back in their civilian life. Because you take a guy or a gal that's in Afghanistan or Iraq evading IEDs one day, and then 2 days later they walk right back into society again. And who do they relate to? I can't relate to them. You can't relate to them unless you've been there. You can't. And there's some traumatic things involved, and that's what we're all about.
I think it's incredible because, I don't think any country music artist, any artist in general, does more for the veterans than you do.
Well,
and you do it every year. And even your 80th birthday volunteer jam yesterday was in support of it. Last year was in support of it, too.
Yep, some of the proceeds went to it. That was my 80th birthday party. and volunteer jam.
Right.
The two things shouldn't happen. It should be outlawed from happening on the same day. But it was so much fun. Nobody had a better time there than I did.
It's just incredible because you just keep going. And, you know, I think it's so incredible, too, that you finally came out with your book, your memoir, which is Never Look at the Empty Seats. And it's such, you know, I learned a lot, you know, about you, including, you know.
I've been alive a long time, man.
But the nice thing is, too, Charlie, I think is that you're sharing your knowledge with people, too. It's not just your story. I think it's something that we all can learn from because you're sharing your advice, what you learned in the music industry.
Well, I've met a lot of people that have shared their advice with me, and you know, it's been a big help to me over the years. I have been around some of the most incredible people in my life. I've got people that work with me that have been with me for over 40 years.
Right, that's amazing.
It's like working with your family.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, yeah. I walk on stage every night with my friends, play music.
Well, you know, it's so amazing seeing you on stage still. And you know, you and I talked a few years ago about the album, you know, with Bob Dylan, you know, that you played. You were a studio musician playing guitar with him back then in the 60s.
I did 3 albums with Bob. I did Nashville Skyline, Self-Portrait, New Morning.
Wow.
And it all came, it just kind of happened, you know. It's one of those things about being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah. And that was kind of right at the edge where your own band was taking off.
We were just getting started.
Yeah.
Very shortly after that, we got our first record deal, which was the record came out, but it was a well-kept secret.
Well, this book's not going to be.
Well, hope
you know,
not, yeah.
you know, another one of the great things I learned about you, Charlie, to where, you know, and obviously you're definitely into guitars. We love talking guitars together, especially Les Pauls.
Yes, sir.
But you
Absolutely.
started out on a Stella that wasn't even yours.
I went to a friend of mine's house one day. I'd known him for a long time. I didn't know he had a guitar. I had no idea he had a guitar. And he was messing with this old Stella guitar.
Right.
The strings were about that high off the neck. They were rusty. Probably had never been changed.
Right.
And I say the neck was about the size of half a fence post. It seemed like it was.
No truss rod.
And he knew 2 chords and almost another one, 2.5 chords. And I said, you got to teach me that. I always want to learn. So anyway, he did, long story short. And that's what I learned. That's what I first started out on, was that old Stella guitar. Fingers get sore.
Oh, yeah, you build up those calluses.
Yeah, you just got to build those calluses up, and you just keep on playing.
Well, you know, and what was amazing to me that I learned in the book as well, you went from the Stella, then to mandolin, and then finally to fiddle after that.
Well, you know, mandolin and fiddle have the same keyboard.
Right.
Finger placement on it. And so when I went to fiddle from mandolin, I at least knew where to put my fingers, but it was, I like to tell this, one of the guys I went to school with said when I played fiddle, it sounded like somebody stepped on a cat. How my parents ever put up with me playing fiddle, I'll never know, because I squeaked, and I still do. But you know, when I learned, Eric, I didn't take lessons or anything. I don't know how to hold a fiddle. I just started holding it however it felt comfortable.
Right.
And I hold it wrong. I hold the bow wrong. I put too much pressure on the bow. But it gives us our sound.
It does.
It's a little bit different sound. It's not as smooth as a lot of fiddle players. I try to make it, but I can't do it.
Well, you know, and I'll tell you the great thing for me, Charlie, every time I've seen you live, and I've seen you in concert a number of times, but you entertain.
That's the name of the game. I learned a long time ago, musicians get out of work, entertainers don't. If you can entertain people, if you can actually walk on stage and keep their attention, and you know, if you look good in a pair of size 28 jeans, or you've got hit song after hit song, you can do it that way.
Right,
you can just stand there and look, you know, you know, play your hits. I never fell into either one of those categories, so I had to learn how to entertain people, and that's a whole nother level of music business that
Well,
I wish if people would pay more attention to.
Right.
Learn it while you're young, and then when the hit records start coming, you'll have a career.
Well, and the testament too, Charlie, is that you've brought the A game to entertainment even when you've been sick, even when you haven't felt good, even when you've had personal challenges. You still go out on stage for everybody, you know, once again, just like your book, never look at the empty seats. You're looking at the crowd and you're playing to them.
You've got to. You've got to. People pay money to come and see you play. They don't, you know, they don't pay money to see you come out and slough off. I can't do that. I have to go on and do it. And if it takes everything in me, I'm going to get through that hour 15, hour and a half set of music, whatever it is, and they're not going to know I'm feeling bad. If your dog dies, if your girlfriend left you, whatever's happened to you, do not take it on stage with you. You go up, it's just you and them, and they make you able to stand up here.
Right.
So if you want to stand up here, pay attention to them. Every night, every song, every note.
Well, you know, and it's obviously been a great, you know, 60 plus years.
60 years, yeah.
You know.
I cut the apron strings in 1958, so June of next year.
Yeah.
I will be 60 years.
Well, not the perfect timing. Never Look at the Empty Seats. You know, it's an incredible book. I enjoyed the whole thing, Charlie. And I think a lot of people will. You can pre-order the book right now on charliedaniels.com/book. So you can pre-order it. It comes out on October 24th. He will be doing some book signings also.
I will.
And it'll be available in bookstores everywhere. Pick it up. I mean, you know, we were talking earlier before we got on camera. You've got quotes from Dolly Parton, Sean Hannity, and Tom Selleck. You know, it's like
Look at the inside cover.
Exactly. It's just incredible. But I mean, what a great testament. You know, I think a small testament to an incredible career, and for all you do for the country and your fans, Charlie.
My pleasure, my friend. And
Thank
Tony,
you.
we got to do a guitar show one day.
Yes, we will.
We will.
Yeah, we'll do it at your studio.
All right. Done.
Done deal.
All right.
Charlie Daniels, Never Look at the Empty Seats, and be sure, don't pass a bookstore without getting a copy of this. It comes out October 24th, the one and only Charlie Daniels. Thanks for watching the Rockin' Review.
Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.